Alright, here is part 2 of the Sailor Moon cast. Alright, for part 2 of this video, I'm doing all the Sailor Soldiers. The only ones I'm not doing are going to be the Sailor Stars. And I already told you that in part 1 of this video. So, it's time for part 2. Let's get started. Let's get started with Sailor Pluto. She is the keeper of time and the leader of the outer Sailor Soldiers. I think the voice actor that should play her is Wendy Lee. Wendy Lee is a very talented voice actor, and one of her best roles was Faye Valentine in Cowboy Bebop. Now, I don't think she should use a similar voice to the one she did for Faye Valentine. She needs to change it up. However, I think if she was Sailor Pluto, she'd bring a really dominant presence to that character, and it'd really fit the character very nicely. I think she'd be a perfect Sailor Pluto. Now, for Sailor Neptune, this was kind of a hard one because of the way Sailor Neptune's personality is. However, I felt one voice actor could really do a good job with her voice would be Gwendolyn Lula. Gwendolyn Lula played Kiara in Samurai 7. Gwendolyn did a great job with Kiara for Samurai 7. She really nailed that voice nicely, and I think she would really fit Sailor Neptune's personality very nicely. I think it would be the perfect role for her. Now, for Sailor Eunice, she's a tomboy, and she's very tough. And I think the voice actor that should do her would be Laura Bailey. Now, the reason I picked Laura Bailey to do Sailor Uranus is because she's done a similar role with Sosei Seki from Rosen Maiden. Laura Bailey's voice fit Sosei Seki very nice. It really did fit the character and the personality, and that's why I think she'd be so perfect for Sailor Uranus. Bring that type of voice, it would go well with Sailor Uranus. Now, for Sailor Saturn, she's a dark, somewhat emotional character. And I think Mia Lee would be perfect as Sailor Saturn. Now, one of the reasons I picked her for this, she absolutely did a great job as Shinkun in Rosen Maiden. I think Lula Meeson would be perfect as Saturn. I think her voice would fit that character very nicely. She wouldn't have to change it that much. Maybe tune it, I would say, make it sound more like a child, but that's about it. She'd be perfect, I think, as Sailor Saturn. Now, for Chibi Moon, for someone who could do a kid's voice, a very sweet, little annoying kid voice, I think it should be Rebecca Forstable. Now, she's done kid voices in the past, but the voice I really liked her in was Sosei Seki in Rosen Maiden. She does a really good job with those type of bratty characters. Those characters are kind of spoiled, a little bit of a brat. And Chibi Moon is somewhat of a brat. So I think she would really do a good job with Chibi Moon's voice. Next up, Tuxedo Mask. Now for Tuxedo Mask, there's only one voice actor that could pull his voice off perfectly. And that is Crispin Freeman. Now, Crispin Freeman's done many roles. He did Zelgas and Slayers, but his most popular role was playing Alucard in Hellsing. Now, I thought of many voice actors who could have done Tuxedo Mask, but he was really the best out of all of them. Crispin Freeman just has such a great voice, and I think it would work really well with Tuxedo Mask. Now, for Sailor Venus, she's strong, but she can be very sweet, and she's a great leader. And the perfect voice actor for her would be Laura Bailey. Now, I know I picked Laura Bailey to do Sailor Uranus's role, but I think she would also do a great job playing Sailor Venus, playing that leader. She also did a great job playing Micah in Soul Eater. I think Laura Bailey would do a good job being that type of leader that Sailor Venus is, and being that type of really strong but sweet character. Next up, Sailor Jupiter. Now, Sailor Jupiter is the strongest of the Sailor soldiers. She's a little bit quiet, but she is there for them. I think it should be played by Caitlin Glass. One of the big reasons I chose Caitlin Glass is her role as Haruhi in Orion Host Club. I think she would fit Sailor Jupiter's personality very nicely, and she brought that type of voice she did for Haruhi in Orion Host Club. I think she'd be perfect as Sailor Jupiter. Now, Sailor Mars is the one that Usagi looks to for help. She's kind of the one that Usagi goes to help her out when the situation is getting bad. And I think the type of voice actor that would be perfect for Mars would be Kieran Stressman. Now, Kieran Stressman has done a role similar to how Sailor Mars is. She did a great job as Colin in Code Geass. Now, Colin was a character that the Black Knights really relied on a lot to help win battles for them. And Kieran Stressman did such an amazing job with that role, and she came off so perfectly that I think she'd be so perfect for Sailor Mars. Next up, Sailor Mercury. Now, Sailor Mercury was the hardest one to find a good voice actor for. But after looking through a few voice actresses, I think this voice actress would probably fit the best. Colin. One of the reasons I chose Colin to do the voice of Sailor Mercury is because she has that type of voice that could really make Mercury sound intelligent, but very caring at the same time. And I think it would work really well for Sailor Mercury. Now the final question, who should play Sailor Moon? This took me a little time as well to think about. I was listening to a few dubs and I remembered this voice actor from Tsubasa, Monica Raleigh. Now, one of the reasons I chose Monica Raleigh is her voice for Sakura in Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles. Now, I think Monica Raleigh would do a really good job with Usagi's personality. I think she would fit the best. This took me a while, but I think Monica Raleigh should do Sailor Moon. I think she'd be the perfect voice actor for Sailor Moon. There you have it, the cast of Sailor Moon. Now, I know I didn't put all the characters in here, but like I said before, this video will have been about 5 parts long. But anyways, let me know what you guys thought. If you guys thought the choices were good or you thought they were bad, and if I made a mistake with anyone's name or any of the names of the characters, I apologize for that immediately if I fucked up on any of their names. Feel free to let me know if I did. And stay tuned because part 3 is coming. This doesn't really have to do with the cast, just kind of what I would like to see them do with Sailor Moon. I've gone into detail before, but just a few more things I want to touch up on how Sailor Moon should be done if it is done by Funimation. But anyway, you guys, I am out.